Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicola and this is the Frugal Cottage, talking all things money to help you on your financial journey. And as another week is over, I thought I would do a budget update for you guys just to show where we are as we get kind of halfway through the month of May. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. So as always, I'm sat here with my trusty budget planner. This is how I track our finances. It is available to download on my website if you want to. I do recommend that you track your finances in one way or another. I like pen and paper. I like to write things down. I like to have that visual representation of just how our finances are going. But you need to find the way that works for you, whether it's pen and paper, whether it's an app or whether it's a spreadsheet, just whichever way you get used to writing down what you're spending, looking at what goes where, so that you can make the best decisions for you. So this is my budget planner. If you're not new here, then you'll have seen this loads of times before. You'll know that I use this a month in, a month out. I just love it. And this is what it looks like. So the first page is like a bills overview. We don't have that many bills as such. I do have a couple more to add in from next month now that I've got the stickers for them. But on the whole, our bill calendar overview looks fairly empty, which I suppose is a good thing. If you know when your direct debits are coming out or standing orders, depending on how you set them up, it's really good to see it as an overview so that you can see which of the bigger bills are going to go out when. So for example, our two biggest bills are the mortgage and the council tax, and they go out on the same day. They go out on the first of the month and that is done. And that's a good thing in terms of being able to plan for when the bigger bills come out, because we're both paid at the end of the month and then the big bill comes out at the start of the month after that. So it's a good time to have that in. But that's what our bill calendar looks like. It doesn't change particularly. The only time it changes is when the first is on a weekend. So then it would move to whatever the Monday is. Turning over. So that's our monthly budget. I still need to fill in all of our fixed expenses. The reason why I don't tend to is because I just know what these are now. So it's not something that I have to write down to remember. However, I do fill it in sometimes in retrospect, which obviously kind of defeats the point. But the main things I'm going to talk about today are our variable expenses, the things that would normally be in my cash envelope system, but I'm not using that at the moment. So turning over, that's the debt repayment page. That's for things like credit cards or loans if you have them. It has kind of what they are, what the balance is, the interest rate and the minimum payment, extra debt payments, and a monthly progressing at the bottom to use. That's quite handy and motivational to kind of track that to see how you're getting ahead with your debt repayments. Sinking funds, I talk about these every time I do this video. I've paused these for now. I do intend to start those either next month or the month after. It does depend on kind of how life is in general, if that's not too strange to say. It depends if I'm still at home. It depends if we're allowed to go slightly more places. I had the idea of doing these completely from online sales, so either eBay or Facebook, but that's gone out the window because obviously things aren't as they would normally be. So the less said about those, the better in the short. So this is my no spend day tracker. So no spend days have been part of our budget for such a long time. I know these are kind of like a Marmite thing. You either really like them or you really hate them. And it does depend on what kind of spender you are as to whether they work or not. For me, they do work really well. I like having an aim. So the aim, if I just move that down, the aim for the month of May is 20. I like having an aim. I also like tracking to see if I have any kind of patterns in spending or spending triggers. So when things are kind of normal, obviously my spending patterns are I spend on the days I'm not at work, or I might spend on a particular day each week that's not the food shop or whatever. So they are handy in terms of looking at where your spending habits are. And as always, because it's me, I like a visual representation of that. This no spend day tracker is also available on my site. You can get it for the 12 months and you can print it as many times as you like. I like, again, kind of the colouring in aspect. The whole pen and paper visual thing works really well for me. So you can see how many I had so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 11 no spend days so far. Today won't be one either because it's our food shop day. but the rest of the week should be. Again, because in some ways this is easy because we're not going anywhere, so apart from online shopping, the food, like the food shop, there's not much else we can spend our money on at the moment, so you know, silver lining and all, as they say. So that's my no spend day tracker. Like I said, I'll leave a link below to that if you want to download that. Turning over, so this is my expense tracker for the month of May. So we're about halfway through and we are just over halfway on the first page. And if I look back at April, for April, where are we? I think I managed to stay on one page. Yeah, I did. I managed to stay on one page for all of April. Looking at this, I don't think I'm going to manage that for May. And to be quite honest, normally if, you know, out and about, I would definitely not be able to stay on one page. You get 3 pages of the expense tracker in the budget planner. And I normally go on to the second, if not occasionally the third, depending on what kind of month it is. However, as you can see here, it's just food and miscellaneous. This miscellaneous at Sainsbury's, I bought a plant for my shelves. If you watched the video the other day about how to pay your mortgage off early, which I will leave a link to below, you will see my lovely new shelves and plant in the background. And that's why the miscellaneous spends are so high, because I ordered my shelves for the office and then I ordered plant. We got a takeaway yesterday, and I was saying to my husband, I was like, look, the no spend year rules, and I'll leave a link below to that video if you've not seen it, quite clearly stated that we were not going to get a takeaway at all this year. But that video was made back in January when things were very, very different. And I'll be honest, a takeaway seems like one of the only kind of things that we can do that is not confined to our house. And I know that sounds weird, but it's one of the only things from the outside world, and that sounds even more weird. It's because I've not left our house in, is it 8 weeks now? It's a long time. So yesterday I wasn't feeling very well. I was really tired, couldn't be bothered. You know those days when you just can't be bothered and like everything seems like a massive effort. The boys had been arguing about what feels like daft things to me all day. So we got a takeaway. It's a new restaurant opened up in town, and so we got a takeaway from there yesterday, and it was really tasty. As always, there's always loads left over because the portions are massive. But it was nice. It's nice just to eat something different. And I'm so fed up of cooking the same meals, but I'm so not adventurous to try new things in terms of my own cooking skills. So we tend to eat the same things week in, week out. So it was nice to have a bit of a change. But that goes under the food budget because we don't have an eating out / takeaway budget at all. So our food budget has gone kind of a bit askew this week. But we'll see. So turning over, there's the expense trackers. So this is the weekly check-in. So we're only on week 2. I say that because it feels like we should be, I don't know, it just feels, because the days are merging together, it just feels like we should be further on at this point. But we're not. It's the end of week 2. As you can see there, we spent £97.87 on food this week. That does include that takeaway, but we are definitely spending more on food. The boys are going through raspberries and strawberries and blueberries like there's no tomorrow, and of course they would be the most expensive fruit you can buy. They don't like, or I can't get them to eat anyway, like apples for example, which are much cheaper. No, they like the more expensive fruits, and I'm not complaining about the fact they're not eating fruit, I'm not, but seriously, the amount of those that we go through, I need to look in how easy it is or would be to grow any of those in our garden, because gardener I am not. I hate gardening, I'm just rubbish at it. I don't know what I'm doing. However, fruit on the, like when you do the food shop and look at what costs you the most, the fruit in our household costs us an absolute fortune each week, so there must be something I can do about that. We go through a stupid amount of bananas as well, for example, because we all have one each day and there's 4 of us. So there you go. So food this week, £97.87. It's quite a big spend. I feel like until it's me going back doing the food shopping, my husband is doing it at the moment, I'm self-isolating at home. I am in the high risk category, so it feels safer to stay at home at the moment. So my husband does the food shopping and he does spend more than me when he's there. There are 2 reasons for that. The first being that we are still struggling to get non-branded items of things even things like, and this sounds daft, but even we're having to occasionally buy branded tin tomatoes, for example, and they're so much more expensive than the supermarket brand. And little examples like that, so it doesn't sound also like 2 tins of tomatoes, but if you're doing that for every single item in your food shop, then all of a sudden it becomes a lot more expensive, and it is becoming more expensive. And I've also noticed, kind of looking through the receipt, that things that we buy week in, week out are more expensive than they used to be. I don't know if supermarkets are putting the prices up or what, but it definitely is creeping up. So that's the first reason. And the second reason is that he buys more stuff. He buys like more snacky things and things that are not on my list. And because I'm not there to kind of say we don't need that or maybe get this instead, he just buys them anyway. So the kids love him for that. Our budget maybe not so. So it leaves us £122.41 in our food budget left for the month. In a normal month that'd be fine. In this month I have no idea. We'll just see. Petrol, we've still not put any petrol in the car. I think we might have to this coming week. But that is I cannot remember the last time we have ever gone that long without putting petrol in the car. Not that I'm complaining, because normally we spend loads. Miscellaneous, so £35.31. Again, quite a bit in that. That does include my nice green plant, but it does include some other household things. We get vitamins as a family, but we get them from the supermarket, but they're expensive, and I know that they've come up this week. It's just little things. And what else did we buy this week in miscellaneous that was so expensive? Well, not so expensive, but it all adds up, doesn't it? And you can see that miscellaneous is the first category that we've gone over. That's because I included my shelves in the miscellaneous category, and they were not a planned purchase at the moment. So we're already over budget by £8.08 in the second week of the month. So you can see how that's going to go from now on. And finally, the children's budget. We've not spent anything this week out of their budget, and so that remains at £81 going forward. So it's been a bit of a mixed week. I mean, I'm okay with the numbers, I suppose. They could be worse at this point. I've still not succumbed to any, apart from my shelves, any online shopping, which is getting hard and harder, I'm not going to lie. I don't know why it is either. I feel like it's something to do, isn't it? And I'm not normally one like that, so I need to keep that in check. And that's it for the budget planner. The bill tracker I don't use. I've not made any extra income. And I've not done any savings yet, because I normally do that at the end of the month when I know where we are. Well, I normally do it on the day I get paid. Pay yourself first and all that. And then the last page is a reflection. So that is how the second week, how are we only on the second week of May? It's just weird. I just miss seeing other people. Don't get me wrong, I love my husband, I love my kids, but oh my gosh, it would be nice to see somebody else. FaceTime is just not the same. I mean, I guess we're lucky that we have that, but yeah. But that's what my spend is like. I miss my cash envelopes, I miss going food shopping, but there we go. How are you getting on with your budget? Are you staying safe at home? Are you having to go out? How are you finding things? I hope you're staying okay and staying safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.